Fucking hoes and popping pills, man, I feel it's like a rock star. I've been fucking hoes and popping pills, man, I feel it's like a rock star. All my brothers got the gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up and then they shot down. And my homies pull up on your block and make that thing go grata-ta-ta. Switch my waking back in black and started saying rest in peace to Con Scott.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we've got episode number 7 of my F1 2019 career mode, and today we'll be doing both the Hockenheim Grand Prix and the Hungarian Grand Prix. They are basically at the same timeline that they're at real life in the stage, in the career right now. So jump into quali 1 of the Hockenheim Grand Prix. Two tracks I think we stand a decent chance at. Neither of them particularly have long straights. Obviously there's one long one that we're currently sitting on right now, but neither of them, or both of them, are suited to the Mclaren car. As I've said in the past, you can see here we get through quali 1 fairly comfortably. The big shock probably being Sergio Perez heading out in quali 1. There's a couple of poor performances all recent weeks actually. That's good to see. It's a big rival of ours so far in this series. Maybe you have to help us up into 7th, that we can keep the performances up through the next couple of weeks. We need Lucas Weber there. Sets the preliminary poll in quali 1. But first up, if you haven't already subscribed, do go drop me a sub as well. Any support towards that would be hugely appreciated. It's 2 weeks to my birthday and I want to hit 250 subs by then, so yeah, and this will be hugely appreciated. But as we get into today's Grand Prix, you're going to see we've got some very interesting races coming up, some different tactics. We're trying to switch things up, make things work a little bit better, and also our qualifying is very interesting, really pushed. But annoyingly, at the Hockenheim Grand Prix, actually, we're really screwed over. We have a gearbox issue that took 30 minutes to fix in quali 2. We didn't have time to get a run out, meaning we'll be starting all the way back at 15th on the grid for the German Grand Prix. So it'll be a tough start.
Good afternoon and welcome to a place that is very special to us all in the Formula 1 community. It's the Hockenheim Ring, home of the German Grand Prix. Always good for a close scrap is Hockenheim. Think back to Alonso, Ricciardo, Vettel as recently as 2014, and I'm expecting some more strong racing today. It's 2.8 miles around the Hockenheim Ring then, and some fairly wet conditions to overcome on this 17-corner circuit. The long, curved back straight leads into a tight hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity. But expect to see the cars running wide, as braking offline could prove very difficult indeed. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Grosjean, Ricciardo and Devon Butler, Albon, Weber, Kimi Raikkonen and Hamilton. Skip, they've taken a grid penalty. Perez, Antonio Giovinazzi and Lando Norris. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Here we are then for the Hockenheim Grand Prix. 15th start on the grid. Hamilton in front of us for some reason. Must have had a big mess up in qualifying. The lights are out and away we go. The rain is pouring down today. Worst conditions by far we have seen all season. We're just going to blindly finding our way through the dark. You can't really see any cars as we're wheel to wheel with Perez. The only time you see them is when they flash right in front of you. Perez makes a little dive on Hamilton. We're going to try wheel or spin there. We've managed to sneak our way past Hamilton. We're going wheel to wheel here. We may have it on the Merc. I'm not sure. He seems to have us for pace actually. So we're down in 16th off the start. It's going to be a real tough one if we want to try and gain enough position to get any points from this race. But the rain may actually work for us because the car's going to be bunched up. We haven't gone for it. But Lando Norris makes a big dive down the inside there. Really pushing for it. Again, we're taking another sneak up the inside. And actually, Norris went too tight. Hamilton went too wide. We're able to gain 2 places from one corner right there. We're up into P15. We won a bit wide through turn 10 or so, I think. And Norris had to get a position back. We tried to sneak up the inside there. We want to give Norris more room than we did to normal teammates. So we're pulling it as wide as we can just to make sure we don't have a huge collision, which would be even easier in rain such as this. We look behind us. We come to the end of the first start of the Grand Prix. People leading into their preliminary positions. We're sitting P16. It was looking very tough to gain these positions up the grid. And we're on to lap 2 and Hamilton is taking a look now. He's going for a peak. We're going to try and hold it through the position. We've got his back wheel cons. We're still slightly in there. And he runs a little bit wide onto the grass. It allows us to hold the position, and we're very fortunate there to keep in P16. But on lap 4, he has another attempt as we run very wide through turn 2, giving it a huge gap to be able to literally slide the whole car in. Weren't able to get a wheel, and Hamilton is up into P16. And we're now well down the grid. Now, lap 6, you can see Sergio Perez, yellow flag, and it's Sergio Perez is out of the Grand Prix right there. Good to see a rival out, because after we're struggling with this race, at least our rivals aren't getting anything either. Now, sadly for the rest of the Grand Prix, really nothing happened. We just lacked the race pace severely with the whole Grand Prix. We come to the end in P16, no pit stops because of the wet tyres. So everyone just rode around the position. We finished P16, so a little bit dull and a little bit disappointing right there.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Park Fermé.
So at the end of the Grand Prix, it's Charles Leclerc that does get the victory. Grosjean and Butler back in the points yet again, both pulling off strong performances. Vettel also in the points, not sure on Quinton the main menu there. Is a 12th place finish, still no points for Norris. We remain in 8th place. The Renault's Weber breathing quickly down our neck, and Hamilton just holds his sight at the top of the table. Here we are then at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hopefully the action is a little bit more exciting than we saw at Hockenheim, where the race really didn't go in our favour. It was an interesting start to the Grand Prix. As you can see, this is quali 3 right now, where things really heat up and get all action right at the end, but we should be getting the quali 1 results any second now. This is a track that I felt fairly confident I thought I could do quite well. Like I said before, no particular strategy. We really put it late at qualifying actually in quali 3, but it's a track with not too many straights. You see, quali 1 is Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Butler, Russell and Williams or Kubica, the two Williams at the back of the grid regardless. One place where I really struggled in this track, the first sector I was strong, the second sector I was strong, a huge wheel wobble there in my flying final lap. But the place that I struggled is this sector 3 that we're heading into now. Really felt that both in the qualifying and in the race, I really lacked pace through here. In a short lap, you could not be having run wide. You see there, I was run that little bit wide, and it cost me a fair chunk of time. There are the quali 2 results, both Renault's out, both Toro Rosso's and Kevin Magnussen. Kimi Räikkönen heading through to quali 3 from personal level, as is Lando Norris. Good to see him at least pushing in qualifying. Even if he's not doing so strong in the races at the moment, we want to see him getting as high as we can, because he really hasn't supported much as a teammate this year. But see, we're getting our quali 3 laps to the end. Where are we going to finish up? And we do end in P2 on the grid. A brilliant performance right there.
We're very
strange qualifying. It was wet for the whole thing until the last minute where it went dry. So everyone's laps right at the end counted. Norris sadly all the way down P10, but we're going to be starting on the front row of the grid.
We've seen some astonishing Grand Prix here over the years, haven't we? The drama of 2015 is a recent example. Jenson Button's first win on a wet track in 2006, or in 1997, Damon Hill's heartbreak in the Arrows after a late gearbox failure cost him what would have been the team's only ever victory. What a wonderful place this is to come racing today. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Skip completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Perez, Gasly, Raikkonen and Lando Norris, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo and Albon, Weber, Giovinazzi, Romain Grosjean and Devon Butler. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Here we are then, the Hungarian Grand Prix, front row of the grid, and we've taken a big risk as the lights out, and away we go. We've switched tactics, we're going mediums whilst everyone goes soft, and we're just going to try and defend our position as Leclerc just charges straight through with a great start and pressure tyres. Hamilton tries to sneak up the inside as well. Bottas in front of us, we're really caged in, but yeah, again with the Norris-Hamilton situation, in the last race, we have to just sneak down the middle of the road. There's those two scrap behind us. Our plan for this race, we head into the first couple of corners. Bottas, I just can't see myself catching, so I kind of just decided we're going to let him run free. We're not going to be competing for the win particularly, but if we can get a podium, that'd be a brilliant result, because we're sitting in P2. If we can just defend these positions, nullify the effect of the drivers behind their soft tyres and then take them overtake them with the softs at the end of the Grand Prix. We maybe have to do some big gains as we get into the latter stages, and so far in this track that is fairly tight and tough to overtake on, that tactic is going well as we come to the end of the first lap, the final couple of corners, which I really actually like these final two turns, very strong to them, though I struggle a little bit on the exit of the last lap of the Grand Prix. We come out, Leclerc is right on our back, and is he going to be able to catch us from this straight? It looks like he might. It's going to get even tougher when DRS kicks in, but Leclerc, he's coming around the inside now. Can he get the move off? We're going to cut to the outside. Is he going to be able to have the balls to pull the move off? We're side by side going into the corners here on lap 2. We're very wide there, almost cutting the grass a little bit, but we've got the inside line here. Willing for overtaking Leclerc, but we overcut that turn so badly, and Leclerc's able to undercut us, but we're heading to the corner still side by side. Leclerc, you think he's backed off, you can still see him in the wing mirrors as Hamilton is here as well. He's got the inside line, but he backs off. He hasn't got any balls, and we're able to hold P2 there as we basically went wheel for wheel for almost like half a lap right there. We run very wide though through that turn. Leclerc now has the opportunity to sneak through, and he's done it. However, when I saw this, I thought I could push back with this position, but clever thing you would say, DRS is about to kick in, we'll get battered. This Bottas isn't going to give us any, he's waiting for our head, so if we just sit behind the Monoclean's driver right here, we may be able to actually be more competitive than if we were to overtake him. As Bottas heads in very early, and the rest of the drivers on lap 7 right now, pitting into the pits. We're going to make sure these next couple of laps, they're going to be the important ones. This lap 7 to lap 13 when we're pitting in, because we're going to manage our tyres, manage our fuel, and also save as much ERS as we possibly can for the final couple of laps of the race, as well as getting a big gap. You can see here, as we come in, we will see in a second the gap between ourselves and Hamilton with as much time as we can to get this pit stop done. So we're going to leave it as late as we can. 15 seconds is the gap, 16 to Bottas. So it's going to be quite tight. Maybe we just be a little bit behind. You can see him on the mini-map right there, coming through the final couple of turns. We leave it very late and very risky on the pit stops. We're getting into the pit entrance, and we only just actually make it through as we head into the pits now. No sign of them quite yet on the straight. You know they're going to be coming up any second, and we're out of the pits. This is going to be very tight. You can see Hamilton is passed, and here comes Bottas and the two Ferraris. Although we are going to be sitting in 5th place, can we get ahead of Max Verstappen? Here we can. We're going to exit in 5th position. However, we're now on the soft tyres with good DRS and a lap full of extra fuel. So we've got a big chance now to catch up. You can see 2 purple sectors right there, and the gap has already been closed by about a second in just 1 lap. So we head with 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix onto the back of a train of Bottas, Vettel and Charles Leclerc. But as we come to lap 16, we're still really struggling. The issue we're having, as I said in qualifying, on the 3rd sector of the Grand Prix, I'm really struggling to just keep tight to those turns. I keep running wide a little bit, and it's really screwing us because it's just allowing them to get that little gap that they need to be able to stay away on the straight. You're going to see here on lap 16 is going to be a perfect example of this. Hamilton is already well and clear for the win, so it maybe actually we're going to be stuck in 5th place. Will be our 2nd, 5th place pose. Nothing to be sniffed at, but we were really hoping for a podium here today. We are having DRS. There's just not enough. You can see there's that like 0.5 second gap. There's like 0. You need to be within 0.3, 0.4 for DRS to take effect, especially when everybody's got DRS. You're not getting any supplementary impact. They're getting it as well, so you're finding it really difficult to gain any time at all through these laps, and the issues we're having on the 3rd sector is just really screwing us over as we head on to lap 17. Only 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix if we want to try and get this position as we head through. It's the end of the 1st sector here, flying through the turns. You can see we're almost at ERS as well, so nothing is playing into our hands right now. So as we come on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, we're still in 5th place, but Vettel's been a mechanical issue because he's Charles Leclerc. He's making a move on his teammate here. We hit the back of Vettel. However, Leclerc's been pushed wide as he tried to get the overtake off. We've actually been able to push in the McLaren up to 3rd place. This will be McLaren's 1st podium since 2015. We can make a big dive up the inside. We've cut the corner a little bit. Are we going to get penalised for that? Leclerc, we've got the inside line. Here we go, wheel to wheel on the final sector for our first ever podium. He's still want to wheel in, but we seem to have the position. We do. We're pretty much out of the ERS, out of spare fuel. We have that 3rd place. Thank you, Vettel, for having an issue. It may have been able to get us if we can just hold through this final course. Leclerc's taking 1 final sniff up the inside over these final 2 curves. I'm pretty confident on we should be able to hold this through for our first ever podium. As you can see, Hamilton is about to cross the line to win the Hungarian Grand Prix, and that'll help secure his position at the top of the leaderboards right now. But more importantly for McLaren, we've got our first podium. Let's freaking go at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So it's great to see us get our first podium right there alongside the big boys in the Mercedes, splitting the Mercs and the Ferraris in the terms of the leaderboards. Hamilton stays at the top of the championship by 7 points. We remain in 8th place, but the gap is severely close to Sergio Perez, who's had a poor couple of races. Meanwhile, in the Constructors, we remain in 6th place, where we're really closing the gap on Reddit. Only 3 points now between the two teams. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Go subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you then. Peace.